Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
That'd be absolutely devastating.
This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn broadcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to GWR Gonzo'S Wrestling Room, Monday, November 20th, 2023.
What day? What's the date? The 11th? Golly.
We can't go through that week again, Chris. Come on.
Going back in time, anyway.
Yeah, we're traveling backwards. Hey, it's getting too cold outside. We need to go back a few weeks, warm it up a little bit. But anyway, I'm Chris Gonzo'S, joined by Tony Gonzalez. Also joined by Marcus Fine, like always. What are you up to now? 89 shows?
89.
And also joined by Austin Gonzalez and Warren Misery.
Yes. A couple
Where
special.
you at, Warren? You in the kitchen?
No, man, that's my new office. This is the new Misery Enterprises offices here, man.
That's pretty cool.
A nice big back room. Yeah.
Got room to stash your bodies?
Yeah.
Well, we'll get going here, and we'll start off with an indie report, and we'll start off with Mr. Marcus Fine and WCWO on Friday night.
All right. I'd say, what do we think, 50? Think there was 50 there Friday?
Hey, Alex, how's it going? Hey, Glenn.
Well, it was about half, I would think.
Billy.
Okay. Results from Friday.
Hey, what's up, Damien?
Damian Real defeated Jackson Morgan. Jake Elliott and Pogo defeated The Buck Sexton and Jake Phoenix. Hidari defeated Jason Levi. He had a rough week. He took on Hidari on Sunday, he took on Congo on Sunday, and Hidari on Friday. So Jason had a busy week.
Yeah.
Jordan James defeated Too Loud Timmy Jackson. P.T. Hustler defeated Kenneth James and the returning Brody Botkins in a triple threat match. Ruthless Domination defeated T.J. Powers and the Waterboy. And Zay Gates defeated David Light to retain the WCWO Gunslinger title.
Cool. I know you said you thought it was a pretty good show.
Yeah, it was decent.
Okay, next up, all three of us was the AACW. And I'll give my thoughts real quick and then let Marcus and Chris chime in. I'm just going to go with the things that really stood out to me. First of all, I want to give AACW a big shout out, Shane Kauser, and I'm not going to try to name off his staff because I'll miss somebody. So I'll just say his whole staff that works for him, helps him out, does anything for AACW. They do a tremendous job. I mean, to the janitors, everybody just does a great job at AACW. I can't give them enough shout out. They do a really great job. Things that stood out to me, Brody Botkins returned to Kokomo, AACW. I thought that was really good. The fans loved it. Had a great match with Holiday. So I thought it was really good. I thought Holiday had great heat, man. He had that crowd smoking mad, man. They hated him. So I thought he did a real good job. Other thing that stood out to me was Christian Cash retained his title against two very good opponents, and thought it was a really good match. thought it could have been a couple minutes longer for my taste, but I thought it was a really good match. Very strong match. And then the other big thing that stood out to me was the Dirty Birds became the new tag champs in a fatal 4-way elimination match. Been doing these now for just a touch over 2 years. Biggest, loudest pop I've ever heard by far. I mean, that crowd exploded. It went crazy. And the Dirty Birds looked very good. It was a very good match also. So them are the things that stood out for me. AECW. Chris, what'd you think?
I thought Saturday was a real solid show. It was cool to see Brody Botkins back in town. Get to see him. I thought him and Elliott put on a hell of a opening match there to get things kicked off. When you had the like you said, that was the loudest pop I'd heard when the Dirty Birds won the titles. Then you also got to see Bobo Brazil Jr., a multiple time Hall of Famer, against Hank Calhoun, been in the business for a long time. So I thought it was a real solid show. Kokomo has some of the best fans out of all the places we go. The crowds they get there, and they go crazy for wrestling. Kokomo's definitely a wrestling town.
Let's face it, we seen Bobo Brazil beat the shit out of Sam Calhoun. He beat that shit out of him.
And we saw the retirement match of Justin Terrell.
Yeah, that was a solid match too. It was very good. They did a tribute to him before the show started and a little bit afterwards. Thought it was very well done. I thought they knocked it out of the park. It was a really good show. Marcus.
Yes.
What do you think of AACW?
What do we figure? 300 plus?
Yep. That's what I think.
And I know it was an accident, but Brody coming through that curtain and like literally ripping the curtain off the entrance. Yeah. I mean, I know that was an accident, but it really made the moment even better because he kept flying through there and ripped that curtain off there. And yeah, and you're right. The loudest pop. Zay Gates, when he won the Gunslinger title, had the #1 spot this year. But and I knew when the Dirty Birds, I knew if they won those titles, that place was going to go berserk, and they did. They were loud all night anyway, but that was unbelievable. Of course, you brought up Bobo. I told you the story that Bobo was in the first match I'd ever seen. So to commentate a match, and he came up to talk to me. I mean, it's just amazing. You know, Bobo knows me now, and we talked for a while, you, me, and Tony, and
Marcus, that was what, 85? 1985, you seen Bobo?
85.
Yep.
So, yeah, almost 40 years. 38 years. I like the elimination. We've seen Will the Thrill. None of us knew him, but he did very well, and he come to talk to us afterwards. I like the fact that they're going in the back and watching the commentary after they're done. Yep. They go to the back and they watch what we have to say after their matches are over. So they evidently got GWR on in the back room somewhere. So, but yeah, Will the Thrill.
Real quick, Marcus, you brought up Will the Thrill. That's something I forgot. Hidari threw Will the Thrill further than I've ever seen a human being be thrown, twice. I mean, he looked like he threw him probably 8 feet and probably was 8 feet in the air. Maybe longer than 8 feet, maybe 10 or 12 feet, but I'd never seen somebody get thrown like that before. Oh, it was unbelievable.
And you go look at the pictures. See the pictures.
The pictures that Marcus got is unbelievable.
Hey, you finally got some good pictures of Hidari.
Hidari come and see me at intermission, and I said, okay, you get off my ass now. Look at these. Oh, send it to me.
He was happy about him on Sunday because he was talking about those pictures when we saw him Sunday.
So, but yeah, the gauntlet match with Congo and all them guys. Again, we've seen the Party Cowboy before. Can't remember Nicholas Jones, the technical cowboy. I liked him. Yeah, I really don't have a complaint. I think Cold X figured it out because they also had they were pissed. The fans were pissed. I think they were ready to beat those guys up.
Yep.
So
I think they're on the right track.
They figured that out. And the Krispy Kreme thing was revamped to a comic, and they got it out of Cold X. So, and everybody here knows why they created that. But they got away from the original reason and actually turned him into a comedy wrestler, and he went in there and offered Congo a donut, and Congo took the donut and beat the shit out of him. So a good day, a good weekend.
Yeah, it was. Okay, next up is World Pro Wrestling. Me and Chris was at that show. Chris, what did you think about this show?
I thought it was a real solid show. I enjoyed it. I told you yesterday on the way home, I thought it was one of the Warrior Pro's best shows of the year, especially wrestling wise. Loved the IK3 Jonathan Wolf surprise to come in and wrestle against Winchester for the title. That was a real good match. And then you had Zay Gates and Jared Kripke after Zay went through that battle royal and everything.
Battle
And
Royal
then
was good.
went right into number one contendership. But yeah, I thought the whole show yesterday was on point, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I mean, Zay was probably in the ring for over 30 minutes, combined the battle royal in that match. Put on a great performance. I thought Zay was outstanding. I thought Kripke was outstanding. Thought the battle royal was very well put together. And I thought, to me, I'll be honest with you, that Zay Gates Jared Kripke match for me was the match of the weekend for me. I mean, everybody's got an opinion. Don't make but it really hit home with me. And Zay now gets a future shot at the World Pride Championship against Jesse Winchester. So that'll be good. Hammer and Scorpion was supposed to have a match. Well, that didn't happen. They ended up getting attacked by Brody Botkins and
I'll tell you
Jackson
what,
Morgan.
that's a scary ass tag team if
Yeah.
them two partner up.
Yeah, Brody Botkins and Jackson Morgan. I don't think I'd want to mess with them. That is scary. Then we also had Tyson Allen and Montgomery upset Buck Sexton in the match. Caught him with a roll up, and so we'll see where that goes. I know Buck was not very happy. Then Jesse, like you said, Jesse Winchester retained against IK3 in what I thought was a very entertaining, very well done, really good match. And Blake Moneyright held on to his championship against Logan Myers, but with some controversy because his foot was on the ropes. So
But that was a hell of a match.
Yeah, it was really good. So
that was probably my match. That was probably my match of the weekend.
Which one?
Logan and Blake.
See, now I could say I liked IK or Zay and Jesse. No, Zay and Kripke. That was a damn good match. But since I wasn't there, I can't really say that was my match of the week since I wasn't there. But I did see it, and it was fantastic.
Yep.
I think my match of the week was the Birds winning their well-deserved titles, and
it's hard to argue that too, because I mean
that
that
was a
moment,
real good one too.
that moment, and it was a good match too.
But yeah, if I was in Danville, I would agree with you guys on that. So
Okay, well, next up we've got our pro wrestling report. Real quick, kind of go on things with WWE. What happened with WWE this week? Drew McIntyre turned heel. Now, what we don't know is if he's going to be a part of Judgment Day or not. What do you guys think? Do you think he's going to be a member of Judgment Day, or what do you guys think? Austin, what do you think?
I don't know yet. I mean, I know there's rumors that they might change, the War Games to 5 people. If they do, it's probably Drew. But I honestly don't know what to think about that. I kind of feels like they don't know what to do with Drew right now.
Yeah, that could be. I just read a rumor right before we come on the air that Sportskeeda, which are not 100% always right, but they're saying Randy Orton's going to be there tonight on Raw.
He's going to show up on Raw.
How long now?
That's what they're saying, so we'll see.
They've been saying that all summer.
I know they have.
been, but
Well, they're probably with the big Monday Night Football game going on. They probably want to try to find a way to keep the eyes on their product. So that'd be the time to bring
It's
them out.
possible, but the only thing is, I don't think anybody's going to be watching Raw. I'm not going to be either. I'm going to watch it afterwards on the West Coast feed. But I'm going to watch the football game too.
Yeah, we got Eagles and Chiefs. Come on.
Yeah, my wife's a Kansas City Chief fan because of Taylor Swift, so we won't even go into that. But
Taylor Swift isn't going to be there tonight.
I know. She says she is going to.
Well, she was supposed to be, but it got changed because
Okay.
her contract
got canceled.
yesterday's contract got postponed or something. So now
See, Chris keeps up on it.
I don't keep up on it. You know how I know about it?
Chris is a Swiftie.
There's
Chris
sounds
is a
like you keep
Swiftie.
up on it.
Like a Pat McAfee show today. That's how I know she's not going to be there.
All right, Swifty.
If Randy is going to come, they should just wait till Saturday. There's no reason to waste it on Monday when Saturdays everybody's going to be watching. So
Okay. Also, we got another turn happened last week. We had Oscar turn on Bianca Belair and Charlotte Flair. So now Oscar has joined Damage Control. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen there. I think they're going to turn on Bayley eventually. I think maybe at the pay-per-view, maybe they lose, maybe Bayley loses. I don't know, but something's going to happen there. I really like Io Sky, Asuka, and Kairi Sane together. I think it could really be devastating. Something have a group like that in the women's division. I think it could really be good. So I think that's interesting. Also, want to do a little bit of a Survivor Series preview and get you guys' thoughts on this. We got the Survivor Series War Games men's. Got Cody as of right now. Cody, Sammy, Jay, and Seth against Priest, Balor, JD McDonough, and Dominic Mysterio. Who you guys like in this match? What do you think will happen here? And
I
now
say
could Drew
Cody
be
then
added?
wins. Yeah, I say Judgment Day loses. I don't know if they're going to add the fifth one. There's rumors that Kevin would be on Cody's team, or the CM Punk thing. I don't know what to think really.
Yeah,
I feel like there's a new rumor every day.
sitting here thinking about it now, as I'm thinking War Games, Steel Cage. If somehow that briefcase gets brought into the cage,
Ooh.
and
That's interesting.
Seth gets beat down pretty good, I mean, would they find a way to cash that in?
Yep.
But does Sami Zayn still have possession of that?
No, it's Seth Rollins.
Seth's not the possession of the briefcase now?
Yeah, he's not Seth. So what am I saying here? Priest has got the briefcase.
Did he get his briefcase back? Because I know at the last pay-per-view, Sammy stole it.
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
And that means Sammy's got the contract. That's what they've done in the past.
Well, that's true.
So I keep up a little bit, not a lot, but
I think it's going to be a real good match. I think both War Games matches are going to be really good. But you, Austin, you think it's going to be Cody's team?
Yeah, I think Cody's team takes it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think, Chris.
I think Cody's team takes it, and Priest is kicked out of Judgment Day.
I think they're going to win it, and I think Drew's going to call it Cody to lose.
Oh, so you're going with Judgment Day?
I'm going with Judgment Day.
I'm going to go with Cody's team.
Okay, next.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good show on Saturday.
Yeah, I think so too. Then we got the women's War Games. We got Asuka, Kairi Sane, Io Sky, and Bayley against Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, and Shotzi.
Man, that's a really good War Games right there.
I think there's going to be a lot of big spots in this.
Oh yeah, I mean you got Io and Kairi on the same team. I could see them both going up to the top at the same time.
Yeah. Shotzi's doing anything
Shotzi's crazy, yeah. Charlotte, Bianca. Yeah, I'm interested in that match. Becky being the other, it was kind of, I seen that coming, and I'm not upset about it because it's Becky, but it would have been cool to have like a different surprise.
Who do you guys think is going to win? I think it's going to be Belair's team and Asuka and them turn on Bayley.
That sounds good. I can't really call it. I like all them. It's hard to call it.
I would think just maybe from the outside standpoint, it would almost have to be Bayley would take the pinfall for the loss.
Yep.
Because I don't see why they would bring Asuka in and build them up as a harder damage control and have them take the first loss to sort of, for lack of better, a mishmash team of ladies that, let's be honest, aren't going to continue on as being a big group.
Yep.
That's how I would maybe see that go. But it's not knowing future plans. It's like you're sort of like, oh, who knows?
What do you think, Chris? The ladies' match, War Games.
I think. It's gonna be a good one. I think Bianca and them are gonna win.
The next match, and this is the match I'm really excited for. I think it could steal the show, and that could be something considering 2 War Games matches. Rhea Ripley and Zoe Starks. I'm a huge Rhea Ripley fan, and I'm a huge Zoe Starks fan. And this is going to be hard hitting, and this is going to be good. I don't think Rhea's going to lose the belt, even though I'd love to see Zoe win it. But I mean, I really don't want Rhea to lose it either. I don't think it's time yet. But I think this match could steal the show.
Yeah, I'm just happy they gave her a match on the pay-per-view. I mean, no fault of their own. They haven't really done the best at building her championship run the best. So I'm excited to see that match.
Yeah, I agree. I think she had some injuries and stuff, and
Probably.
also, it's a good thing to be good in the ring and get over that way, but she was getting over another way, so I don't think they was real worried about it.
That's true.
What do you guys think? Who you like in this match?
Oh, I think it's going to be Ripley. They're not. She's probably going to have a short, like not a huge Roman type run, but I think they're gonna keep that on her for a bit longer and let her sort of run with it. To maybe they did because I'm the one thing that's still in the back of my head is we haven't seen Jade yet. So I mean, she hasn't really been in the ring and doing much yet. So I don't know if maybe they're not as impressed with her ring work and they're getting her a little more seasoning, or they're waiting for that right moment to have her come out and make the pop. But I think Rhea's going to run with it for a few more months.
Yeah, I say Rhea has the belt till at least WrestleMania.
I would think so. What do you think, Chris?
I agree. I think Rhea's going to win. I'm looking forward to the match. I think it's going to be a real good match. But
I know Marcus has been real impressed with Zoe Starks too. He was really impressed with her.
I agree. It's not her time yet.
The other match that I know so far that's definitely on the card is Gunther against The Miz, and they're kind of tinkering. Maybe they're turning The Miz good again. Maybe he's going to be a face.
If they did, I still don't see The Miz doing it though.
Yeah, I don't think Miz wins, but I actually think that match could be one of the best matches of the night, just because the story that Miz has the fans behind him.
Yep.
And I think he'll surprise people with Gunther. So.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. I don't think Gunther's capable of having a bad match.
No.
And officially, that's the only thing that's announced right now. I look for another match or two maybe to be announced Monday and maybe
There's got to be
Friday
at
night.
least one more.
Yeah, at least
probably
one.
Escobar versus Carlito.
Tons of people here. Tanner's on too.
Yeah, Carlito versus Escobar maybe?
I've heard that rumor, and I just read that we're going to see a couple NXT people come up to be with Escobar. I figure it's going to be. Of course, I'm not going to be able to remember their names.
Los Lotharios.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So that's the
give them
rumor
something
going
to do.
around.
They're both really good.
They're really good in the ring.
Yeah, that could be a good team right there.
And that's one of the rumors going around. And real quick, I wanted to go back before we move on. Bring up Jade Cargill. Read a report for us from Meltzer, who now saying, which I'm not a Meltzer fan necessarily, but he's saying that he thinks WWE found out that Jade Cargill's not that good, which he never said anything like that before when she was in AEW. But anyway, she's not that good, and that's why she's not been on TV yet, or she has been on TV, but not in the ring. I think they knew what she had. I think they knew that she was green. I think they're putting her down in NXT, not on the show, but putting her, working her ass out and getting her ready to be on TV. I think they knew what they had. She had an opportunity to be in NXT, and she turned it down, and went to AEW. I think she had an offer on the table before, and she actually had an offer to stay with AEW for money and WWE.
Yeah, I think they're building her up just the way that they should. I mean, if you look, every time she pops on the screen, it's one of the biggest pops of the night. I mean, she does need some in-ring work, but she's gotten a lot better, and I think she'll just get better with time, and they're just waiting for the right moment. So I don't think there's anything like that going on.
What do you think the right moment is? Royal Rumble?
Royal Rumble makes sense if,
As number 30.
Could be. That'd be interesting.
Royal Rumble, or maybe just show up at WrestleMania, maybe after like Rhea's match or something. I really want to see her versus Bianca though. So.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, next up we got AEW Full Gear happened this Saturday. That's what I know. Austin watched it.
Yep.
I've got to see quite a few of the highlights. I didn't get to watch it live because I was at a wrestling show. Warren, did you get to see it?
No, I was actually at a show too. Me and Chris Cass were down at TCW doing our thing, but
Okay.
I was watching it through the phone, like sort of on the phone, getting updates. So, but I mean, from what I've read, I mean, I'm sort of glad I didn't spend the $60, but it still sounded like it was a good show.
Yeah, I'll go over some of the highlights that stood out for me. Orange Cassidy got a big win defeating John Moxley. Finally, got a big win there. I know me and Austin talked about this earlier, and Austin was a little upset with Moxley no selling the orange punch. Took 3 orange punches and still kept going.
I've never been the biggest Dean Ambrose or Moxley fan, but I think I don't like him even more in AEW, to be honest. I know maybe that's other people's cup of tea, but it's not mine personally. I think Orange Cassidy looked great. I think he looked great. I think he carried the match personally, but
I agree with you. I was a big Ambrose fan, and I'm still a Moxley fan, but I'm not as big a fan as I was when he was in WWE. But it's too much of the no selling for me.
Yeah, I don't disagree, but I do think it was a big win for Cassidy.
I watched what match was it when I watched? That was Friday night.
No, it was Wednesday night.
I mean,
that was the one I watched.
Yep,
yeah,
yep.
I watched Wednesday night, and Moxley didn't like no selling that whole match.
I thought Cassidy did his best to try to make a good match. Moxley, he bled, he bit him, he punched up, he did his thing. That's about it. But
next up, Tony Storm became the new AEW Women's Championship, defeating Shida. I don't know what it is about Shida. She had the belt for a long time, and then after that, they put the belt back on her. She has it for a month. She loses it. She gets it back. She has it for a month. She loses it. I don't know. Toni Storm's a great wrestler. I don't think she's showing that she's real great in the ring right now. She's doing more of a character. Marcus, have you got to see her character, Timeless Toni Storm? It's a throwback to Betty Davis type stuff, like black and white stuff. Diva, old Hollywood. It is pretty funny. She's got a butler. It is pretty hilarious. You need to get on YouTube and check it out. Toni Storm, Timeless Toni Storm. It is a pretty funny gimmick.
Right.
Yeah, I like her gimmick. I think it's a good gimmick. She's, that's best character work I've seen her do. But I will say the match was okay. I kind of found myself kind of getting a little bored. It just wasn't as entertaining as some other matches, but it was a solid match. It was decent.
Next up, we had Julia Hart defeat Chris Staylander and Sky Blue, and she's the new TBS champion. I heard a lot of people say this was a good match. I talked to, I didn't see it, but I talked to Austin, and he wasn't a huge fan of Julia Hart.
I thought the match was really good. It was one of the better. I thought them 3 did really good together. But yeah, I thought Chris Statlander and that was actually the first time I've seen that Sky Blue wrestle. She was really impressive. She did one of the best like code reds I've seen like a woman do. It was the transition. Chris did really good with it, but it was one of the best like coolest transitions I've seen into that move. I felt like them 2 kind of carried Julia Hart a little, but people like her character, and it seemed like her character's pretty good. But in the ring, I think she needs a little work.
She needs a lot of work. They're pushing her pretty quick, and she's only been wrestling maybe, I think it's a year at the most. She needs a lot of work.
Transitioning the belt to her to go up with Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale, and then I think they may. I mean, I could see them pulling Statlander to the women's title then, and even maybe trying to get into a feud with Storm. Maybe moving her so they get the belt off Statlander and let them work the storylines with Hart and the House of Black and the Mists and all that.
Yeah.
Statlander should go for the main belt too, because she was really impressive. I thought she was the kind of the glue of that match. She's really good. I've only seen her a couple times, but she's very good.
Chris, what do you say?
I was just going to ask, because you don't have nothing to do with that pay-per-view from Saturday, but it's AEW. What are they doing with Billy Starks?
She's wrestling a lot in Ring of Honor. She's under under the wing of Athena, who I think Athena is the best wrestler that the AEW has.
And they don't use her.
She should be the AEW champion right now with the work that she's doing, in my opinion. But Billy Starks, I did get to see a clip of her doing a belly to back suplex on Ronda Rousey and dumped Ronda Rousey on her head hard.
Oh yeah. So
I mean,
is this the high schooler
Yes.
we're talking? The one that's in high school?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
Okay. Well,
yeah,
yes.
she just graduated.
Okay.
And she's getting a lot of good work in with. I'm glad they got her with Athena. I think personally, I would love to see her go to NXT, but the fact that they got her with Athena, I think is a good thing.
That's a good choice. Yeah.
Yeah. One other thing, I had a couple more things, but I didn't have this wrote down. But I seen a video last night, and I wanted to bring it up. I showed Chris the video. I want Marcus to check this out, so write this down, Marcus. And of course, I'm going to forget his name. The crazy dude that got thrown, the little dude. Skateboard.
Darby Allin.
Darby Allin. Darby Allin took a choke slam out of the ring from Luchasaurus. What the hell is he doing?
He's trying to become the next Jeff Hardy, man.
He's going to be dead is what he's going to be. And he's going to
Yeah.
be crippled, and he ain't very old. I want you to look this up. It's a choke slam from Luchasaurus to Darby Allin, Marcus.
All right.
It is unbelievable. Warren, have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, check it out. I was pissed. I came in here and showed Chris the task. What the hell are these idiots doing? He threw him out of the ring, out onto the ring apron, and I don't know what they're doing. Why would they allow this?
It didn't look good at all.
It was
I'm
awful.
gonna
I was
have to
very
look that up.
Well, let me rephrase that. It looked good, but it didn't look like it felt good at all.
I'm gonna have to look that up myself because I put it on about 3/4 through the first match, so that was the first match. So I missed most of that match, so I didn't see that.
Yep.
I seen the rest of the pay-per-view, but yeah,
It was something else. I know he's Gumby and he's rubber, but still, it was something else. Next thing, I think it was probably the match of the night. I think Marcus or Austin thought so too. Swerve Strickland defeated Hangman Adam Page. I thought it was really good. It was a Texas Death match. It was crazy. One thing I did hear about the match that I don't think I would have necessarily liked, that he actually Hangman drunk some of Swerve's blood.
yeah,
I don't think we need to do that.
no.
What's wrong with that?
I think that's a little much for me, but
Yeah, it was a
Wait a
great
minute.
match.
Let me get this correct though. So we can drink blood on TV, but we can't act like we're doing coke on TV.
they acted like they did coke on TV. That's it.
I mean, come on.
There's
here.
a difference. One was legit.
They both were pay-per-views, and he did drink the blood, and they didn't
Yeah.
do cocaine. So maybe you're right.
Yeah, I thought it was the match of the night. I'm not a big fan of the death matches. You know, I like hardcore matches, death matches, but I thought they did a really good job. There were some cool spots. The finish, I know you said some people were clear on the finish. The finish was, I think there was there was like 4 times towards the end where it felt like it was over, and they just kept trying to one up it too much, and I think that was their fault. Was they were just trying to one up it too much, and it kind of dragged a little towards the end.
Had too much interference. They really didn't need to keep doing it. Yeah. Right now, other than MJF, which I think MJF's killing it, Swerve Strickland is outstanding. Which I was a big Swerve Strickland fan.
Yeah.
In NXT. He's different. I think he's great, and they let him go. That's just, even though Vince is a genius, he's also a moron. So
Yeah, that's the biggest ball drop from WWE so far, in my opinion, in terms of what he's done after. He's
him,
looked
and
great.
also I think the guy from the House of Black.
He's great. Malachi or
yeah.
Alistair.
Yeah, them two I thought were two biggest misses that Vince has had.
If
The
you
last
ever get the
2
chance, Swerve wrestled in Lucha Underground
Yes.
under Kill Shot, and that he had actually a good run with him and AR Fox way back then. That was a good
Yes.
and that was real hard hitting too.
Yep. Yeah, I've seen some of the stuff, and Swerve also has wrestled death matches. So this is not new to him. I mean, a lot of people might think, well, what's he doing? He's wrestled about every style. So Swerve's, he can do it. Last thing on here, I believe, for this was MJF defeated Jay White to retain, and match was okay at best. MJF's great. I know a lot of people think Jay White's one of the better wrestlers in the world. I haven't seen it yet. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying he's not, but I haven't seen it yet. Not with what they've presented in AEW. What do you guys think?
That was actually my first time. I watched that. I think it was a Fatal 4-Way way back with him, but that was like the first match I've actually really watched. It was okay. The match itself, it wasn't meant to be like a wrestle fest. The storytelling and like the emotion of the match was really good. It kind of felt like a Roman match, to be honest. But yeah, the wrestling wasn't there. I wasn't really impressed with either one of them wrestling wise, but the storytelling was really good.
And unfortunately, the best wrestler in the world was announced earlier that night.
Yep.
When the Billy Goat himself came out and officially put the stamp on he's in AEW now.
Yeah,
so that's gonna be from there. But I think the botch of the night was definitely he was gonna put him on the announce table, and he's gonna get ready to put Jay White on the announce table. The announce table already broke.
Yeah.
He laid him it off and then got up on the rope and still dropped the elbow.
Yeah, I will say I thought MJF did really good at just making the best of it, though. It was funny, but yeah, that table, he literally just put him on it and it just fell over right away.
He got all the way on it. He just started to get on it and fell.
I've seen a couple tables. I thought that was going to happen.
Well, we've seen some at the arena this past year that exactly happened. So.
And then you got the tables that just won't go down.
One thing I will give AEW credit for, I think they're trying with this pay-per-view. I think they try to go in with quite a few stories. That's something that they have. I still think there are too many matches. I don't think you need 10 matches on a card.
That's one complaint I heard from people was about it was such like 4.5 hour pay-per-view or something. It was so long.
Yep.
Well, it was with the pre-show because there was 3 pre-show matches.
Yeah.
I know people were. I saw people complain about that a little bit about being too long.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, as much as I love the Bucks, Omega, the Elite, as much as I love that match, that tag match with Omega and Jericho versus the Bucks, that wasn't a pay-per-view match. That could have been a Dynamite match. And did that? There was So, and then I guess a lot of people were concerned that they changed that 4-way tag match to a ladder match, but I guess that turned out pretty good.
Yeah,
the ladder match was pretty good. I thought it was really solid. It was really good.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those things where I was worried about the safety of a couple of people, but that happens in ladder matches and stuff. I mean, definitely. So I think AEW is trying to get more stories. I think that they try to be different, to have a lot more wrestling. I think they try to pile too much stuff in. I think it's just a different philosophy than. I think that's why some people like it. It's so different than WWE. WWE is doing 6 matches, 5 matches, 7 matches on a pay-per-view. But I think why WWE does a lot slower pace is Vince's philosophy, and I think Triple H has took on this philosophy that same thing on Raw, SmackDown. They show a lot of video packages, and I know for somebody that watches the show all the time, I've seen that video package. I've seen it on Raw, I've seen it on SmackDown, and I know it may get a little boring, but their viewpoint is there's going to be some people, this is the first time they're watching, or maybe they haven't watched in 2 or 3 weeks. And perfect example with Marcus. Marcus, you can watch a pay-per-view and they can do a package before the match and get you caught up, and what's going on between these 2 people or 4 people or whatever before the match from that package. And I think that's what WWE tries to do. And I think it's smart. That's my opinion. But of course, I'm old and I don't like things moving 100 miles a minute. So
the only thing I don't like is they do the pregame show. That's what I call it. Yep. The pre-show, but then before each match, they go through all that crap again. Well, if you watch the pre-show, you don't need to see it again.
Yeah, I'd like to see.
Yeah, but you know how wrestling fans are. If the show starts at 7, they don't get there till 7:15. So a lot of them don't see that pre-show.
Speaking for me personally, I don't watch most pre-shows, to be honest. So I get it though.
Yep. The pre-show, I usually have it on in the background. I'm usually busy getting my food ready for the show, so I've got it on in the background.
I like to do the video because I'm like Marcus. I don't watch all the live shows every week, so it catches me up on some of it. Some things I missed.
Yep.
Where when I do turn on AEW, a lot of times it just feels like just a match because I don't have that story.
But I do think they're trying to get more stories, and
Yeah, like I watched that match the other night. It wasn't bad. Like I said, it wasn't great either.
it was Hook and Orange Cassidy against Moxley and Yuta.
Yeah,
And it was a decent match. It was, I mean, it wasn't nothing to write home about, but it wasn't terrible. I mean, it was a pretty decent match. I know it stood out to you, Yuta tried to get the pinfall with that double armbar.
yeah.
Which he does that a lot. He does that quite a bit. Well, next up, Marcus, if you're ready, we'll finish our Indiana Pro Wrestler.
All right, I got a few things.
Okay.
Both the Birds were in here. If they're still in here, we do want to congratulate you guys. You put on a hell of a show for us.
Oh, most definitely.
I know both Birds were in here. I'm sure they're still here. Something we forgot to discuss. Tanner Kelly was also in here. I don't know if he still is, but we've seen one of the worst freak act. I wouldn't say worst accident because he didn't get hurt, but we did see a freak accident Saturday night that none of us had ever seen before.
I've never seen
He
that.
went to jump off the top rope onto the guys on the outside, and somehow he slipped through that top rope, hit that middle rope, and flipped. So now his leg he's hanging on the outside between the middle rope and the top rope. I had never seen that. He said he'll never do it again. If you want to go back and see that, I did not photograph that, but Chris did catch that. I commend the guys on the other side, Jackson Morgan especially, who saved him from being injured. But yeah, that was wicked.
Oh yeah, it was crazy.
And then he's still recovering. I guess he's on there. And then we want to congratulate Brody Botkins. He did have his showcase on last night. He did return Friday night. He was there Saturday. But if you get a chance, go to the Rhodes Wrestling Academy on YouTube and watch the showcase number 9 and see Brody. Fantastic.
I agree.
And
he's on there a couple different times.
Congratulate him for what he did, and I think that's.
He's back in Indiana. I think he's ready to make a big mark.
Well, you seen him twice. I seen him twice because he was at Warrior Pro yesterday too. So he hit 3 shows like bang, bang, bang the minute he got back. So
I don't know if you knew. I didn't know he was there at Warrior Pro.
I found out he was at Warrior Pro about a minute before he came out because I just happened to look over my left shoulder. And you know how there was that curtain that leaked out to the outside door right there?
Yeah.
He was standing right behind that curtain. He waved at me, and I went back to call it. And about a minute later is when he ran out. So I found out about a minute before you did. And that was just because I kind of looked up and saw him. But because I had
Billy, that guy that Brody wrestled was huge, 6'7" at least, and probably what do you think, 300 pounds at least?
They have to be.
Yeah.
It's just muscle alone.
Yeah, maybe more.
But no, it was impressive. I like Brody's new gear.
Yes.
His gear is awesome.
And Kelly noticed that. What's it say on this? Keep stepping was on Dustin's ring apron, and he has that on the back of his pants too. So that was pretty cool. He tributed his trainer.
Yeah, he said that he was telling me yesterday. Me and I forget who else, somebody else, but he was telling us that new gear was heavily inspired by Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah, and it looks fantastic. And he slimmed down. You can tell he worked out the last 3 months. So anyway, okay. I think I got all that out of the way. All right. We're finally going to finish up McFoley, whether we like it or not. I'm just going to end it. And then we are going to do Me and Tony Talk Saturday. Maybe Dick the Bruiser era wrestlers for a while. Bobo Brazil Sr., Moose Jolog, The Sheik, the Blackjacks. Basically, anybody that's come through Indiana and wrestled in the state was a big time. We're going to start covering those. So, okay. So after the Triple H feud, and if you need to know how to get caught up, you got to go back and watch our past shows. So I'm not giving you a replay, but anyhow. So after he feuded with Triple H, he became the commissioner. He wanted to be a role model for nerds. Did a lot of comedy skits and did the cheap pops. If you remember, he always say, "Coming to you from," and then he'd like Indianapolis and everything. Cheap pop. And then Vince on air fired him. He was a special referee between Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon at WrestleMania 17. Had a brief stint in Ring of Honor. Then he went back to WWF special referee, Hell in a Cell, Triple H, and Kevin Nash at Bad Blood 2003. And then the one we all know about, fought Edge in a hardcore match at WrestleMania 22 where he was thrown through the table and received those burns. A quick TNA thing, he was at Lockdown 2009 where he defeated Sting in a cage. Have you ever seen that match? He went outside a hole in the side of the cage. He crawled through a hole that he didn't go over the top, through the door. You had to exit the cage, and there's a big hole, and he just kind of crawled through the hole.
I don't remember that.
Well, there you go. I'm giving you homework now. Go look that up.
Okay,
It's Lockdown 2009, TNA.
Okay.
He won the TNA Legends title in the same year, 2009. WWF Hall of Famer 2013, Raw Commissioner from 2016 to 2017. And then I'm going to finish up on, he wrote several books. He bought New York bestseller, Have a Nice Day, Fully as Good, The Hardcore Diaries, Countdown to Lockdown. That's a terrible book. That actually is a book that talks about him crawling through the cage and him getting ready for that. I got that book at Big Lots for $2. That tells you how bad that book was. It was no bestseller because if Big Lots got it, yeah. And then Saint Nick, and then he had several kids' books that I can't even begin to go down through those. But then he had two, I don't know the word, adult-oriented books. Tina Brown, I have read and I've heard the audiobook. That is very well done, but it is not kid-oriented. Just so you know, if you do get the audiobook, make sure your kids are not in the car to listen to it. It is very adult-oriented. And the other one's Scooter, and I don't know what that's about. And we're done, Mick Foley. Thank you. You give us a month worth of stuff because you're huge.
Okay, well, next up, we're going to get to our Survivor Series. All of us here have made up our own Survivor Series. We thought it'd be fun to do. And who wants to volunteer to go first?
I'll do it.
Okay.
I'm going to be one of those guys that got 9 matches, so I'll go ahead and do mine. Because, we just talked about that. So I got the 5-hour pay-per-view right here. Okay, I got a little bit of everything. What's that?
Marcus signed up with AAW. He's doing for the 5-hour pay-per-view.
It was funny. Warren, how many matches was down there at Jeffersonville Saturday?
Actually, it wasn't that bad this time around.
Okay, maybe they're learning.
We'll talk off. Yeah, there was some really interesting stuff. Decent crowd too. I think there's.
That's what Chris told me. Yeah, Chris told me that they did well.
Yeah, I think there maybe about 6 or 7, and the people behind the scenes really reiterated, we don't need to have a bazillion matches, times, get them done. Type.
You think they're listening to us? Because I know me and you and Chris all sat there that one time for that marathon day, and yeah. So anyhow, but I'm going to break my own rule and do it anyway. So, all right. So I have the 5 tag teams against 5 tag teams, and just so you know, that's got to be a photographer's nightmare, and that would have to be anybody in the front several rows because you got that many people standing around the ring. How are you going to tell what's going on in the ring? Yeah. You don't got a drone flying over the top of it. It's like that. Anyway, so I had 3-minute warning. You're going to see a theme here in a minute. 3-minute warning. Offense Sika, the Usos, the Samoan SWAT team, and the Islanders. And I don't know if I duped anybody, but I think I got 10 different guys in that.
Yeah, I think so.
Against the Road Warriors, Demolition, Powers of Pain, the Viking Raiders, and Heavy Machinery. Who you give it to?
I think I'm going with the Samoan team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Samoan team too.
Me too.
Now I got the ladies. It's more like old school versus new school. Wendy Richter, Medusa, Sherry Martel, Leilani Kai, and Debbie Combs against Lita, Trish, Becky, Bailey, and Rhea Ripley. Although I might pull Becky out because if she's not that good at Jeopardy, then I don't want her on my team.
Yeah, she's not very good at Jeopardy.
Nope.
I seen that.
I thought that was the
Broken
first thing I
record,
ever heard.
not one question
60,
right.
60 questions and didn't get a one right.
Oh man.
But you got the final Jeopardy question right, I heard. So,
Okay.
All right, here's another one. Hogan, Flair, Taker, Sting, and the Ultimate Warrior against Bret Hart, Owen Hart, Bulldog, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and Jericho. That's basically a Canadian team there. Now I'm going down to WCCW. Kevin, Kerry, David, Iceman Parsons, and King Kong Brody against Michael Hayes, Terry Gordy, Gino Hernandez, Chris Adams, and Al Perez. Now we're going to somewhat of an AWA Survivor Series. Rick Martel, Nick Bockwinkel, Jerry Blackwell, Jumbo Shruda, and Mr. Saito against Jimmy Garvin, Mr. Perfect, which he wasn't then. He was Kurt Hennig. Larry Zbyszko, Jesse Ventura, and Ken Patera. And you put this however you want to. Then I got Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Kevin Sullivan, Jake Roberts, and Brian Pillman against Barry Windham, Mike Rotundo, Chris Benoit, Cactus Jack, and Ricky Steamboat. Then we're going to go the Attitude Era. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, and Big Show against Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, and X-Pac. Well, that probably actually happened. After I looked at that. Then I got ECW, Taz, RVD, Tommy Dreamer, Sandman, and Raven against Mike Awesome, Sabu, Bam Bam Bigelow, Steve Corino, and New Jack. That's your blood flask. I guess if somebody wants to drink blood, that's the one you need to go for that.
That New Jack might kill somebody.
You know, I have a picture with him. I don't know if you've seen that. Nicest man. If you respect the man, you're good. I mean, he'll tell you that. You disrespect the man, you're dead. That's basically as factual as you get. I do have a picture with New Jack, so I must have been okay with him.
Yep.
Having the white boy come up and ask him for a picture, I guess I did all right. So.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't get stabbed.
And it was in Indy over there. It was in the right neighborhood, too.
Okay.
So, all right. Now we got our old school. Dick the Bruiser, Bruno Sammartino, Andre the Giant, Baron Von Raschke, Bobo Brazil against Ox Baker, the Sheik, the Blackjacks, and Harley Race. And that's my 9 matches from all eras that I could recall.
Okay. Well, I'll go next. I started off my show with my first match. It was going to be Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle, Bret Hart, Daniel Bryan, and AJ Styles against Triple H, Chris Jericho, Owen Hart, Chris Benoit, and Eddie Guerrero. That'd be my first match. Next up would be a Survivor Series match, be a ladies match. It would be Beth Phoenix, Trish Stratus, Lita, Natalia, and Mickie James against Chyna, Victoria, Molly Holly, Bailey, and Gail Kim. My next was a tag team match, so I had 5 tag teams on each side. The Rock and Roll Express, the Road Warriors, the Steiners, Matt and Jeff Hardy, and the British Bulldogs against the Midnight Express, Demolition, the Dudleys, Edge and Christian, and Tully and Arn. Anderson. That'd be my tag team match. Number 3, this is going to be the good guys against the heels. We had Hulk Hogan, Dusty Rhodes, Sting, John Cena, and Ricky Steamboat against Andre, Ric Flair, Randy Savage, Randy Orton, and Roddy Piper. And I would definitely have paid to see that match.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that. My next match was Women's War Games. It was Medusa, Ul Nakano, Becky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair against Sherry Martel, Asia Kong, Charlotte, Asuka, and Sasha Banks. And then my main event, War Games men's match, Bruiser Brody, Abdullah the Butcher, Mick Foley, The Sheik, and Terry Funk.
There's your blood.
The original Sheik. And against Brock Lesnar, Ken Shamrock, Big Van Vader, Aku, and Stan Hansen. And I would have paid to see that match.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
you know how that is. I could see
That
how
would
that
never end. That would never end. They would just beat.
That's what I said.
They would all die in the
When the
ring.
Abdullah team got done beating up the other team, then they'd beat up each other. He's right. They'd still be fighting each other. They forget whose team they were on, and they'd all just beat the hell out of each other. That almost had to be a last man standing match.
Billy Buzz had a question. Chris, if I remember, Roland Gardner, didn't he lose part of a foot?
Yeah, I think he had frostbite and had to have a footing.
Yeah, frostbite.
I forget what he was doing.
He was.
Was he doing mountain climbing or something?
I forget exactly what he was doing, but yeah, he got frostbite and lost some of his foot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't believe he ever wrestled in pro wrestling.
I don't think so.
No, he didn't.
Not that I remember.
All right, well, I can go next if you want.
Okay.
I got 6 matches. Mostly newer schools, so this would be a little different than both your guys's.
Yep.
I'll start off with the traditional Survivor Series match, 5-on-5. This is just some of my favorites from WWE and AEW right now. So on one side we got Ciampa, Ricochet, Miz, AJ Styles, and Montez. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a War Games match. I'm all over the place.
Okay.
War Games match.
Okay.
So Ciampa, Ricochet, Miz, AJ Styles, and Montez Ford versus Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, MJF, Ricky Starks, and Sean Strickland.
That'd be interesting.
Next is a traditional Survivor Series match, 5-on-5. Kind of tag teams together, like trios and two, but 5-on-5. I got New Day and the Usos versus FTR, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega.
That'd be good.
Then my women's War Games match is kind of NXT, earlier NXT, not the very start, but kind of the middle NXT versus 2000s WWE. So we got Asuka, Nikki Cross, Ember Moon, Dakota Kai, and Candice LeRae versus Trish Stratus, Lita, Mickie James, Victoria, and Molly Holly. And then my other women's match, I did a little different. I did the 3 teams like they did when NXT, Raw, and SmackDown back in like 18, I think. So this one is kind of just 3 different generations, kind of. So one team is the 4 Horsewomen: Charlotte, Becky, Sasha, and Bayley, versus Bianca, Rhea, Io Sky, Kairi Sane. And then the other team is Tiffany Stratton, Roxanne Perez, Zoe Stark, and Cora Jade. And a traditional Survivor Series match. And then I have a 3 tag team Survivor match for men's as well. Kind of the same idea. One team is Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Gunther, Drew, and Cody Rhodes versus Nakamura, Sami Zayn, Samoa Joe, Adam Cole, and Kevin Owens. And the third team is newer NXT, Braun Breaker, Carmelo, Wesley, Dragunov, and Tyler Bate. And my last match is a men's war game. Kind of, Survivor Series, when I was watching in the 2000s, I'm sure it's been like this all the time, but they do feuds. Each team is kind of just a bunch of random people, and they're just feuding with somebody on the other side. So I kind of just went this with some of my favorite feuds on other teams. So it's a 5-on-5 war games. We have one team is The Undertaker, John Cena, Randy Orton, Stone Cold, and Rey Mysterio. And the other team is Shawn Michaels, Edge, Triple H, The Rock, and Eddie Guerrero. And the way I said those is who they'd be feuding
Yeah,
with, so
yeah,
like
yeah.
Undertaker and Shawn and all. So yeah, I think that's all.
That'd be good.
I can go next, Chris. If you
Yep,
want?
that'd
No,
be
wait.
good.
All right, you may go.
Yeah,
Just
go
gonna go.
ahead.
All right.
So I had first one basically just an elimination tag team match. Andre the Giant, Big Show, Elegante, and Sid versus Undertaker, Kane, and the Road Warriors.
You gotta love it. I love it. Ellie got there for the pin.
Another elimination tag match: Stone Cold, Rock, Mankind, and Edge versus Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and the New Age Outlaws. So basically versus DX. Then I had basically a 6-man tag elimination match: Dustin Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, and Dusty Rhodes versus Bret Hart, Owen Hart, and Stu Hart.
Okay.
In a War Games match, Mankind, Terry Funk, Sabu, Tommy Dreamer, and Kurt Angle versus John Moxley, MJF, Pat McAfee, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens.
Okay.
You always throw McAfee in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got those back. And then my last one is the Four Horsemen versus Evolution. And that'd be tricky because Ric Flair's in both of them.
Yeah, he'd be beating the hell out of himself.
Well, he probably would.
He's done that before.
We're gonna take his shoe off and elbow drop it. And
But with like Evolution when they were in their prime, like the old
Yeah.
Horsemen, that would have been
Oh,
cool
yeah,
to see.
yeah.
all righty. When it comes to Survivor Series, I'm like the traditionalist when it comes to it. So I like Thanksgiving Day, like how it was. So that's what I'm sort of in the set. But I would have a pre-show match, basically called the Thanksgiving dinner match. And I found my opponent for the Gobbledygooker.
Okay.
Thanksgiving Day match. The Gobbledygooker versus Mr. Feed Me More Ryback. And I also loved how they always had like really cool team names and stuff. So I sort of put these team names in associated. So first match, Team WTF. Basically, these were gimmicks that literally like what? Why? So Team WTF, Battle Cat, Manitar, Max Moon, Beaver Cleavage, and Fantastio versus Team Blind Squirrel, as in even a blind squirrel finds enough that these guys had no reason to go over, but they did. So Team Blind Squirrel of the Hurricane, the New Day, and Road Dogg. Then my second match would be Team Tough, Big John Studd, APA, Brock Lesnar, and Fit Finley versus Team Fly. So guys a little more quicker, rely on speed. Rey Mysterio, RVD, Evan Bourne, Finn Balor, and Owen Hart. And then I would have Team Hardcore, and I'm pretty sure you guys probably have the whole team in your head. Cactus Jack, Terry Funk, Sabu, Spike Dudley, and Raven versus Team Technical, Bret Hart, Daniel Bryan, Kurt Angle, Chad Gable, and Ricky Steamboat. And then the palate cleanser here, Team Jobber. So Marcus, you guys, I'll test you guys with some of these. Barry Horowitz, the Brooklyn Brawler, Gilbert, and Frankie Williams.
Yep.
Frankie was, you know who Frankie Williams was, right?
Yeah, that's one Piper beat the hell out of.
Then, yep.
Well, you are funny as I've got a picture taken with two of those guys.
Really? Which two?
Gilbert and Horowitz.
Okay.
Maybe taking on Team Long Term. Now these are guys that basically held the titles are forever. Bob Backlund, Bruno Sammartino, Honky Tonk Man, and Gunther. So basically it was a squash match.
Yeah.
And then my main event would be Team Historic, Andre, Hogan, HBK, Piper, and Triple H against Team Second Coming. Now with this, it's sort of like this was like, these were the guys that sort of set, and then these are the guys I think were sort of the next of the like versions of them. So Team Second Coming, Big Show, Cena, Seth Rollins, Edge, and Roman Reigns.
Very interesting. I like that.
No, I actually went. I went through my WWE encyclopedia Right, all the time. I was going through like, yeah, there we go, this match. And like we said earlier, I could easily put at least 3 or 4 more in there. There's so many people. I was literally thinking about trying to put a team together of guys that literally walked out of WWF and just left and end up like Rick Rude went from WWF to WCW, Lex Luger.
Let me ask you each one of you this: what was if you could pick one match that you made, what would be your one that you really want to see? What would be your favorite one? Mine would have been Brody, Abdullah, Foley, The Sheik, and Terry Funk against
I'll be
Lesnar,
with you that night.
Shamrock, Vader, Aku, and Stan Hansen in the War Games. That'd be mine. Austin, what about you?
Mine would probably be the men's War Game, the feud one I did, just because of the star power in it. Undertaker, John Cena, Randy, Stone Cold, and Ray versus Shawn Michaels, Edge, Triple H, Rock, and Eddie Guerrero.
I mean, I'd probably go with my main event one because that's the one that first stuck in my head, like Team Historic versus the Second Coming. Just like what Austin said, it's just the massive star power, just to see how those guys would all go against each other.
What about you, Marcus?
I'd either go with my tag team one, or I would go with my old school Dick the Bruiser and all them in there.
Okay. What about you, Chris? What would be the one you'd pick?
It'd be my War Games match. Oh yeah. Mankind, Funk, Sabu, Dreamer, and Angle, and then Moxley, MJF, McAfee, Zayn, and Kevin Owens.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
that's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, like I said, it's amazing when you really look back and try to put things together. You never realize how many people and how much there could be out there.
Yeah, I mean, 5 of us and all of ours was really different. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I agree. What Marcus, out of the pay-per-views, what's your favorite WWE pay-per-view to watch over time? I mean, if you go to WrestleMania, it could be No Mercy. I don't care.
From start to finish.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just talking like which brand? Like, is it Survivor Series?
Oh no, Royal Rumble. Mine's always going to be Royal Rumble.
Mine as well is Royal Rumble. That's
I was going to say Rumble, but I'm still going to go with Mania, I think. Barely.
I've been to a Mania and it was cool, but yeah, Rumble just because.
What Mania? What Mania?
The one out in Arizona. So I lived out there and I won tickets off the radio and got to go. And then the next day, I actually won tickets to go to Raw that next night off the radio by naming finishing moves. And that was actually at the time Shawn Michaels' last match, his last appearance, and they had that big hullabaloo up on stage with him and stuff. So I sort of got to be there in person to see that. So it was sort of cool.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
What about you, Chris?
I'd say Royal Rumble.
At one point when it first started, I might have said Survivor Series because it was so different.
Well, Survivor Series used to be my favorite.
But they got so far away from doing it.
Yeah, it's so different now. But I mean, when it first came out, I mean, the first 3 or 4 years, it was just so different than anything else that I'd ever seen. That was probably one of my favorite. And like you said, they did it on Thanksgiving night. It was really cool.
Yeah, it sucked. The War Games match is really cool, but it does suck that we're not getting any traditional Survivor Series matches.
I would have loved to seen at least one men's and one ladies.
Yeah, at least 2.
I mean, maybe sometimes that's how you can sort of point to the ratings issues that they have sometimes with stuff is, like I've been chomping at the bit that they don't even tease that Damian Priest is going to try to cash in against Roman Reigns.
They did early on for a while, and then they've quit.
Yeah, and so that takes a lot of fire behind. Attitude Era, you were almost guaranteed a title match and a title change on every Monday Night Raw. There was something else you wanted to watch it. Now it's like you're not going to see it. So it's like, why should I watch it if I'm not going to get it?
I get where
King of the Ring. I mean, King of the Ring pay-per-view was great. It was so much fun. That birthed Austin 316, and they don't do it anymore. So it's like.
Yeah, I always was a big fan of King of the Ring, but it got so watered down that I think they kind of killed it.
I get what you're saying with the Roman, like he's not teasing Roman, but are we supposed to think that like they can only go for the champion on their brand? Is that what they're hinting at?
No, because one time you can go for any one. So I think you
Well,
can go.
yes, I know in the past you could, but now are they kind of just focusing on just the brand that they're on as the champion they can go after?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because I mean, who won the women's again? It was Io, and she was on SmackDown. She went for the SmackDown women.
Yep.
So I just didn't know if that was kind of what they were going for now. Before, I know you could just go for whatever one you wanted.
Yeah.
Like I said, they don't. So it sort of does. It makes it sort of dull for me, anyways. I mean, other people maybe fine, but I'm like, I sort of want to see that. I want that unexpected stuff to happen. That's what drew me into the Attitude Era was what's going to happen tonight? Who's going to do something crazy? What's going to go down? Now it's just sort of like, oh, well, here's what we're doing. We're going to talk and have a couple matches, and maybe one will be good.
Yeah.
But
well, Attitude Era was just so different, and I mean, it'd never been done before. But a lot of the stuff they did, they couldn't get away with now. So.
And I mean, honestly, who knows now if Raw's changing stations, maybe SmackDown's leaving Fox. Maybe they can open it up a little bit now.
We set some limitations. You're allowed to drink blood, but you can't act like you're store code. So I mean, we're starting to lose some of the limitations.
Yeah, NXT's moving and SmackDown's moving. Is Raw moving off USA?
They might.
It's not been announced yet.
They're
still.
Do we know?
I heard a rumor it's going to FX.
Do we know about SmackDown where it's going?
Yeah, it's going to USA.
Okay, so NXT is going to CW too, right? Isn't that what you said?
Yeah, the NXT is going to CW. SmackDown is going to USA, and like I said, the rumor I heard Raw was going to FX.
That's weird. Why not just SmackDown FX since Raw's already on USA?
And has been since the day they started.
Yeah.
That's a little weird.
For some reason, USA paid more money than what they were paying for Raw to get SmackDown. So I don't know.
Because of Roman.
I don't know.
Roman.
Exactly.
I agree. But
I think everyone's tired of it now. I think everyone's tired of the bloodline and Roman Reigns and all. I think people are ready for a change.
The rumor is WrestleMania is his last match.
Well, let's hope so.
I'm right there with you. He should have lost last WrestleMania. He should have lost last.
Hogan had the belt. The first
these Roman Reigns haters.
Oh, I know, man. One thing they are doing right now, the last 2 or 3 weeks, and never have not. They built him pretty good. He's only lost like one match, maybe. Solo Sikoa, they are really building him up.
I like Solo a lot.
Yeah.
All right, you got anything else before we get out of here?
Think we're good to go. Next week, I knew you'd ask me that, Marcus.
Well, you told me a while back, but then we had our special a few weeks ago and kind of threw us off schedule.
Don't think I have the paper with me. Let me see here. This is it. Nope, I don't have it.
I'll go ahead and end it and we can talk.
Yep.
Find the paper.
Yep.
And you can tell me later in the week if you want. But
well, I do want to say I don't know if he's still in here, but Justin Danger, if you're still in here, Chris Cass is hunting for you, buddy. We didn't forget what happened 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Want some revenge?
After some revenge. Please hit that. Okay. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Like and follow Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all at Gonzo'S Sports Room. We appreciate everybody watching. We'll be back next Monday with another episode of GWR Gonzo'S Wrestling Room. Have a good night.
That'd be absolutely devastating.
This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever.